Okay, so this channel just hit 10,000 subscribers. So to celebrate, I'm gonna do like a Q&A, and I posted on YouTube some questions for you to ask. So I'm gonna answer them. And I've done some rebranding on the channel. So this is my new logo. If you have any suggestions, you can like let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to make a new one, or we'll see how that goes. So the first question is about me as a person. What do you do full-time? What is your age, college major, etc.? So I am a high schooler and I am 16 years old. Another question is, where do you live? I am in California, based in the United States. Alright, the next question is, what is my channel name? That vcubingx. So here's the story. So I made my channel when I was in 2015, when I was deeply into Rubik's Cubes. So when I made the channel, I called it vcubingx, and the cube obviously referring to these things. And over the time, I realized that vcube is actually a company, so I changed the channel name to vcubingx, and then I just made it into one word. But then I got like custom URLs for everything, like youtube.com/vcubingx, and I don't want to change it anymore, so I'm just gonna stick with it. And that's also the inspiration for the logo. So there's the cube over here. So the next question is, how do you go about designing/planning your videos? What aspects do you look for, and in what priority? So in terms of the aspects I look for, it's anything that I'm really passionate and interested in, no matter how niche it is. For example, the video on fractional calculus, I don't think a lot of people are interested in this topic as a general thing. So even though it was such a niche audience, I decided that, I really like this topic and I definitely want to make a video on it. So I'm really picky about the ideas I want to use for a video. So they're like I come up with a lot of ideas, but a lot of the times I don't use them because I want to look for something that I really want to make, and it's the best video I can possibly make on that topic. What I mean by that is, when I made the fractional calculus video, I was looking for a topic that not many people have covered, and it's a topic that I can make the best video on. So, and another example is the prime numbers video. So although there are like really good videos on like the Riemann hypothesis and things like that, I was looking for a video that like links the Riemann hypothesis and primes, and I couldn't really find one myself. So I just did the research myself, and I really liked the subject, so I ended up making a video on it, and it did pretty well in terms of like views, if that's what you want to consider as doing well. And in terms of like the multivariable calc videos, when I took the course itself, I took it last semester, and when I took the course, a lot of the times the teacher would just like write the formula on the board and then would be like, okay, now your test is on this, and then you would do some practice problems, and that's all. And no one really knew what the formula was about or what it was doing and why there's a divergence over there, why is there curl. So I thought, like, if no one can explain this properly on a whiteboard, I feel like animating it would be a great idea. So I ended up making these videos, and I seem to like them. And this is a segue into another question, is how do you come up with your ideas? So the way I come up with my ideas is like different for every single video. And in case of let's like look at a few videos. So for the multivariable calculus ones, I told you about those. But in terms of like the fractional calculus ones, for example, I was just thinking, and then I wondered, what would happen if I take a half derivative? And I ended up Googling it, and there was a lot of resources on that, and I combined them all and made a video. And in terms of the prime number one, I learned about the Riemann hypothesis, and I was like, okay, so what does this have to do with prime numbers? So I ended up doing some more research and then made a video on that. And I have like stories for every single idea. So in terms of ideas, I would say a lot of the times they just come from me thinking, or me reading blogs, or me learning other stuff and then realizing, how does this have a connection to this? And then looking up stuff and then researching. So each of them have their own unique way of me getting an idea. Okay, the next question is, how much time do you spend per video? And it depends on the video, but nowadays I'm spending around 50-60 hours per video. And it's, in terms of raw working time, it's 50-60 hours, but it takes a month or month and a half per video, I guess, because a lot of the times ideas don't just come, like they take time to come. You can't like sit in one sit for 24 hours on a desk and expect to come up with like a brilliant idea. Like, you'll burn out. So ideas take time to come. So that's why it takes like a month and a half per video, because I need to think of ideas and then like use the ideas properly. So yeah, they're around a month and a half for like 50-60 hours of raw working time. All right, this is like rapid fire questions. What's your favorite number and why? I don't really have an answer to that one, but okay, I don't really have an answer to that one. What is your favorite topic? Calculus. And I just find it really fascinating how these small, like tiny, like rectangles, tiny steps, all of these things can be generalized, and like, limits, they just fascinate me. When was the first time you really felt you were good at math and started to really like it? Are there things about math you dislike? A topic, a number, a fact, you can't trisect any angle, for example. Well, honestly, in terms of when did you think you're good at math, I'm not particularly the best at math. I'm more of a computer science person, to be honest. Well, when did you start to realize you really like math? I mean, it's like a gradual thing. In middle school, I was like always like into math. I used to like learn formulas, learn algebra, things like that, calculus, whatever. And his next question is, why have you started making videos? Well, as I said, in like 2015, I used to make these kind of videos like on the cube and stuff like that. But then in my freshman year of high school, I created a project that used a neural network to play like Super Mario Bros. And I found it really interesting. So I'm like, okay, I want to share this video with everyone else. So I made a video explaining the topic. I shared it on Reddit, and people were giving me pretty positive feedback. So I decided to continue, and then eventually I tried making a video on line integrals, which was my first math video, and the feedback was overwhelming. I really liked making the video. Also, I felt like I added some value to the topic in terms of my video. It wasn't someone who was explaining it on a whiteboard, rather they were moving animations and things that people could actually look at and understand. So I decided to continue, as I really liked the process of making math videos. I would actually like to know how much time it took to learn and visually prepare the videos. I find the style aesthetically pleasing and know that there's a 3 blue 1 brown library around or something like that. If it is within reason to do so, I would certainly like to start doing these things myself for other stuff. Well, okay, you don't like learn something and then do it immediately. It's like a progression over time. So my first video with 3B1B's library, which is manim, it was not the best. So it takes time. So I'm still learning how to use these libraries. So it's not like you just learn it in one day and then the next day you do a project. That's not how it works. You like gradually learn it over time. So to answer your question, I'm still learning. I don't know everything about the library itself, and I'm still learning how to use it. Like right now I'm working on a video. In that video I have to do a lot of like 3-dimensional stuff, and that stuff I don't really know that much about it. So I'm still learning about the library itself. If you want to like get started with it, I'll leave a link in the description to some tutorials by Theorem of Beethoven, which is pretty good, so you can get started on that. The next question is, are you going to do post-secondary education, and what are you going to study? So like I said, I'm more of a computer science guy, so I'm probably going to major in computer science, and yeah, that's probably what I'm going to study. And his next question is, also, do you have a particular math concept / proof that left you more appreciative of the subject? Yes, I do. So let me get the book, hold on. So when I was in middle school, I used to read these books called Murderous Math, and hold on, let me find the page. So I used to read these books when I was in middle school, and I read that one section and I was just like, how does this even make sense? How does the square root of -1 times pi and whole thing raised to the e, how could that even possibly equal -1? But as I got older, I learned about the complex plane, things like that. And then I eventually learned about the proof, as in, not like the calculus proof where you like use the Taylor series and like split it up. The proof where you visually look at it. So you have this position vector, which you can say is e to the it, and you take its derivative, which just rotates it by 90 degrees. And then if you take pi, which is 1 radian, it goes to the other side of the x-axis, which is -1, and I found this really fascinating. Will you be making a series for Calc 1 onwards? Probably not. Like I said, I look for topics that I find really interesting myself, no matter how niche, which I do find Calc 1 really interesting, but I don't see me adding value to making a series on Calc 1. If you've, like 3 Blue 1 Brown has a really good series on single var-calc, which honestly would be much better than anything I could possibly make. So if you're looking for that, I just suggest watching his videos. I don't see me adding value in making a series on Calc 1. Similarly, this other guy asked a question, can you make videos on number theory, and can you make a series on topology? In terms of starting series, I don't think I want to start a series on anything yet, because they like take commitment or whatnot. It's more like I have like a lot of things to focus on right now, so I don't think I want to start a series. So we'll see later on, but I don't think I would want to start a series right now. And the video I'm working on right now, I think it's pretty interesting. So yeah. Thanks for watching. If you have any unanswered questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll probably reply to most of them if I can, and if enough questions are asked, I'll just make another video or text post. We'll see. Alright, thanks for watching.